This is Grimm Grinner on all channels. Welcome to the Wastes. Well, Wastelanders, I've got a special treat for you all today. Some of you out there may remember the old world tradition of Halloween, when we would all dress up, eat candy and pumpkin things, and enjoy all the scary stuff. And that included ghost stories. Well, at a recent stopover near an old graveyard, we met a Wastelander named Seymour Diggins. He's watched over the site for a few years and has continued the tradition of laying Wastelanders to rest there, and has picked up and remembered a bunch of old ghost stories. After a couple drinks, telling him some of our tale, he started telling us a few stories. Luckily, I was able to set up the mic and record one of them. Let me tell you, they've had us keeping the lights going as much as we can afford to lately. So, without further ado, here is a Wasteland ghost story. Okay, yeah, I think it's working. Looks like we're recording. So I'll just hold this and talk into it here? Yeah, just tell us a tale or two for the people out in the wastes. You sure? I don't want to scare people too much. It's totally fine. It's the season for scary stuff, right? Well, as long as you're sure. Where was I with the stories anyways? Oh, I think that was the story of the Ghost Road. Oh, yes, the Ghost Road. The tale of the Ghost Road is an old one, dating since before the wastes. But since the world went to shit, the story has proven not to be over. Ghost Road is aptly named, as many years ago, there was this fella riding out along this narrow strip of old dirt road on his motorcycle. Now it was a dark night, and even with his headlight on, seeing the road was tough for the rider. Well, it was that lack of being able to see that caused him to hit a rut in the road and sent him careening into the bush, where an old barbed wire fence was lying across, at about the right height to liberate his head from his shoulders. It bounced off, never to be found, even when the body was discovered later. It's said for a long time after, if you visited that strip of road late enough at night, you'd see the lights of that bike taking their fateful journey again, night after night. And if you were real quiet, you could hear the motor running and skidding out. Now, there are all sorts of other stories of strange goings-on in that area, each one more fantastical than the last. But in recent years, travelers who have happened by the old Ghost Road have said that there's more than just lights going by. There's been tale that the rider has come back, riding again, still fated to crash, but then rising up in search of his lost cranium. Now, that couldn't be, could it? But since the world has changed, so too could the rules of the afterlife. And until this rider finds out what he's lost, I fear that the dead might not stay dead. And you know, that road isn't too far from this camp, so I do suggest being careful out there if you travel at night in these parts. The rider might not be the only dead thing roaming in search of something. Okay, well, I am scared shitless. You were the ones wanting the ghost story. Now pass me that whiskey. And that was what we got, Wastelanders. I'm sure we'll encounter Seymour again at some point. He sounded like a man with a lot of stories to tell. But, to tell you the truth, and I know CJ's unsure if she really believes me on this, but I think Seymour Diggins may have been a ghost himself. It just has this feeling. I mean, adding in the fact that he wasn't anywhere to be found when we woke in the morning to load out. I mean, CJ thinks maybe he packed it in and left before us, but there was no sign that he had been there. Just a small scrap of a notebook that I've stashed away and am honestly too afraid to open it. Maybe one day. For now, this has been Grimm Grinner, signing off. Happy Halloween.